Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for attending the channel today. I've got Ryan here with me. Ryan, do you want to share your handle name with him?
Yeah, it's Baba Yaga 2117.
So, what we're going to do today, we come from different backgrounds, but we both work in the private sector doing security and executive protection. We're going to go over our everyday duty carries. That's going to be both pistol and rifle. A little bit about myself is I've been in the security industry for about 5 years now, doing everything from close protection, executive protection, dignitary protection, celebrity protection. I've kind of done everything across the whole gamut. Ryan, what about you?
Well, my name's Ryan, guys. I'm with Baba Yaga Tactical. Check me out on YouTube. Just like him, I work private security sector, doing both close protection, EP protection, military for 2.5 years, and yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right, guys, without further ado, we're going to start explaining our everyday duty carry rifle and pistol.
What's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about my daily duty carry with my pistol. Right, this here's my Glock 17 Gen 5. I'm running the Streamlight TLR1, which is a lot different than the HL. This one does not have the strobe function on it, which is fine. I've ran this for about a couple years, never done me wrong, never any issues. Amazing light, I really recommend it. Second thing is I run the Amend 2 magazine. This one is the 18 round capacity. I've ran these for just over 2 years. These mags are amazing. No issues, no jams, nothing like that. Last thing I run is the Holosun 507C. With the Holosun, it's very, very cool. They have a little solar panel on top. Never have to charge a battery, never have to, change out anything. You just stick it in the sun or run it while you're on duty, and it charges itself. Right? Sight picture is absolutely amazing. With that 3 MOA dot, you're going to see everything. I personally put on personal grip tape just for extra grip. Um, Other than that, it's my solid pistol. I've ran Glock for just over 3 or 4 years now. Never had any issues, never any malfunctions, never jams. So all in all, it's a great pistol. Second thing I want to talk about, guys, is my duty rifle. Right, this is going to be the Radical Firearms AR-15 chambered in 5.56. All right, first things first, I run an Odin O-Light. This light is super bright, 1,000 lumens, constant on, right, or click when you need to, okay. Magpul furniture for my foregrip. I'm also running the SIG Bravo 4 4x32 optic. It comes with the Romeo 1 on top for quick transition between medium range to close range. I run an Aero Precision bolt carrier group, otherwise known as BCG. This bolt is phenomenal. It runs amazing. Doesn't stick, doesn't jam. I replaced the original because with Radical, sometimes they have that loud metal clanking noise. And I hate that, right? Nobody likes that. The only metal we want to hear is when the round hits that steel target. Alright, guys, last thing I want to talk about is probably one of my favorites, right? This here is the Ventum 556 suppressor from Huxworks. Alright, sometimes I run it on my rifle, sometimes I don't. It just all depends. Probably put about 1,000 rounds through this suppressor. One good thing about Huxworks is that it's a safety company first, right? So all those gases with normal suppressors that come out the back or the side or wherever they have it, made from, Huxworks doesn't. It actually comes out the front, which is actually really cool. Reduces recoil a lot and just makes it a lot easier to shoot. Honestly, my favorite can. I do recommend checking out Huxworks. You will not be disappointed. Check them out.
So, talking about my setup for my duty pistol, what I run is a Shadow Systems DR920. I really like the Shadow Systems platform just because I have the upper as a Glock and the ergonomics as a SIG on the lower. I think Shadow Systems really did a great job combining the two just because you get a big beaver tail just like on most of your SIG pistols, as well as interchangeable parts with the Glock upper. So this is essentially the Glock 17 model. Glock's always been reliable, except didn't really like Glock too much just because they didn't come with bigger beaver tails when they first came out. So this is one of the pistols that I fell in love with just overall. And who cannot like the furniture that they have on it? Just the little gold copper parts. I think that just looks fantastic on a black pistol. I run the 507C Hollow Sun just like Ryan does on top. I have the solar panel on top so it never dies. Or if it does die, we can rely on solar power during the day. Then I have the TLR HL downstairs as a light just because it has a constant light and a strobe effect if I need it. Other than that, it does have some Tyrant CNC parts. As you can see, it has a Tyrant CNC mag extender. Doesn't really match as much per se. I just like the gold color. Gold with black just looks really good, right? This essentially gives it +3, so I can hold up to 21 rounds effectively. The rounds I use are Fort Scott munition. They are a what's called TUI round. It's a tumble-on impact round. I've just found these to be better when it comes to creating a wound cavity than your standard hollow points. And that's pretty much all it is for my pistol. So for my rifle build, I kept it very minimalistic. So this is a IWI upper with a arrow lower, just because my other IWI lower I transferred and made it into something else. Arrow is a great company. Can never go wrong with Arrow. IWI is just a fantastic upper. Their barrels and everything are just tried and true. So I kept it very simple. Like I said, I'm a left-handed shooter, so this is set up for left-handed. You'll see my light is on the left hand. We'll start tip to butt and go all the way down. So I have a Huxworks thread adapter on the top that takes my Huxworks suppressor. I use Huxworks as well, just like Ryan. Like Ryan hinted on, very great company. They are safety first, and they're known to have great quality. Then we move down to the light. I have a Odin from Olight. I know there's lots of controversy between Olight and they used to explode or get hot, 8 years ago or however long ago it was. I've never had an issue with this, and I'm also not keeping my light on that much to create an issue. It's attached to a pad, so you can on and off it. I have a mag pull, just forward stop. People tend to like other smaller forward stops. This is just the one that I've had experience with and I like. So that's the reason I run that one. Moving down, I have a EOTech EOXP1, I believe. So it is night vision capable. Whenever I do run nods, I'll run a Unity mount up with my D-ball, but I don't usually run it all the time just because doing stuff that I do, it's not something that is on it all the time. It's just extra weight. And everybody wants to be a cool guy, but at the same time, cool guy shit adds weight, right? So when we go for our sling, this is just a standard mag pull sling. It is a quick adjust, so I can slide it and slip it any way that I would like if I need to cinch up. For my bolt, I'm running a Aero Precision nickel boron bolt. I just like this better because it's easier to clean. It doesn't make it any better than a regular bolt. It's the standard patterns. Nothing shaved off, nothing different. It's just easier to clean for me, and it looks kind of cool. And then I have an ambi charging handle just because why not? I shoot left-handed rifle, so anything ambi is great for me, and then everything else is pretty much standard furniture. I've learned to run a right-handed rifle left-handed just because left-handed rifles are hard to find. And then the trigger down here is a Velocity Precision trigger. It's a flat trigger. It is a 3-pound trigger. Absolutely great trigger company. If you're looking for triggers, Velocity Precision is the way to go. It's kind of interesting that we both chose Glock variations, that we always seem to gravitate towards Glocks.
Yeah, I mean, Glock is an amazing brand. I mean, I love Glock for just its simplicity. I mean, you can do a lot of things to a Glock and it'll still shoot the same way.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about mine, but I like mine to be a little bit more Gucci. Of course, when you start getting into duty, there's only so much you can do to a duty pistol before, if you ever get into a shooting situation that the court's going to look at it in a bad way because you manipulated that firearm. But, it just, whether you're duty or non-duty, just follow your SOPs of your company or wherever you work. Just make sure that, no matter what, your handgun is tailored to you
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most companies are only going to allow, two things, and that's a light and an optic. Um, Magazines are kind of at, the shooter's disposal. More than often, you're not going to run anything more than a 17 round mag, unless you're in California where you're running 10. But other than that, I mean, there's not, like you said, there's only so much you can do to a gun before it becomes, something that you just want to show off.
Yeah. And while we talked about rifles and pistols today, we really like to throw in a bonus item for you and go over a knife that we carry. Now, knives can vary from all types of shapes, sizes, weights, colors, different types of styles of knife, like your straight edge, your tontos, your karambits. However, it really comes down again to what you feel comfortable and what falls into your company's SOPs. And I'm going to let Ryan go first and show the one that he chose. I really like his because being in the executive protection field, it's kind of nice to always have something that's incognito or not easy to pick up on. And that's exactly what that is versus compared to mine. So Ryan, talk to me a little bit about yours.
So this here is the El Perez from Tenant Co. Knives. It is a fixed blade. You're probably looking at a 6-inch blade here. It's made from ceramic material, so it is undetectable by metal detectors. I really love the wrap job that they gave the handle. It's really comfortable, really sturdy. It really fits in my hand perfectly. Comes with a little Kydex sheath here. One clip. I mean, you can stick this anywhere on your person and walk through a metal detector and you will not go off. I absolutely love this thing. Blade is really sharp for what the material it's made out of is. All in all, it's a solid knife. I really enjoy it.
That is kind of nice. Mine's kind of almost the same style, same fashion. So this is by Tor Knives. It is the same fashion, one sheath, one clip. Mine is made out of titanium steel, same style, almost a dagger style, but short blade, all in all together, probably about 6.5 inches. The blade itself is probably about 2. But I really love this one. It feels good in the hand. I've got the knuckle guard up front. I keep this one on the side of my plate carrier whenever we're on duty.
Yeah.
If we're running it concealed with suits on, I have it right there at my appendix as well with my firearm. It's just, I think they're both really great knives, and they both really have different backgrounds that you can use them as and different scenarios, right? And that's important with any of your gear, is to have a piece of gear for every type of scenario you may walk into. You don't want that one piece of gear that you have to rely on. And it may be that you have to rely on that piece of gear because you're just starting out, which is totally fine. Just make sure whatever gear you have is geared towards your mission.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I first started out in the security industry, I was, barely running a cheap Taurus with a cheap Black Hawk holster from Walmart, and 5 to 6 years later, upgrading to a Glock and even my Shadow Systems that I have that I run for everyday carry. It's a big jump to what you first start off with versus what you get more comfortable with. The more brands you're able to utilize and the more gear that you have, it really is, a tremendous factor in how you perform at your job. What you're able to do, what you're not able to do. The gear that I run, my Glock, my rifle, my knife from Tenant Co. I mean, it works for me, and I can honestly tell you that I can perform 110% using the gear that I have.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you buy quality gear, you feel quality. It's kind of hard to say, but you feel quality, like you feel invested in yourself.
Yeah.
And, that's one thing I've seen. I started that way too. I started with a vest, off of Amazon, guys, and I built to what I have today and what you see behind me. And honestly, I don't think I have enough. You can always get more. You can always get something for every occasion and every color and every preference. Just like Baskin Robbins, I might have 32 flavors, but kind of want more, right?
Yeah.
And it just goes back to what we talked about. When you train and you put money into yourself, you feel better. You feel more competent, which makes you want to get more competent items. Like you said, versus the Taurus versus Glock, both do the exact same thing. They fire, but at the end of the day, what's more quality and what's going to last longer, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and it's like people always tell me it's you value quality over quantity. You can have 10 different guns that cost over 2,000 each, and they may work just as good as a $200 rifle from Walmart, or my Taurus could probably run better than some people's weapons out there. But I've always valued quality over quantity. I can have 10 of one thing that nine out of those 10 things don't work, and then I can have one of something else that runs tremendously. So it's all up to you guys. I mean, these are just our tools that we use on an everyday basis, honestly.
I like how you said that. They're tools because your first tool and your first weapon's here.
Yeah.
This is a continuation of something in your toolbox.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of what you said, it's great to have all these different types of tools, but realistically, what you need to do is get familiar with one or two, right? You need to get familiar with one pistol, one rifle. It's great to have a collection, but at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of people underperform because it's cool to own 6 different pistols, and they go out to the range every day with 6 different pistols and not that continuous one.
Yeah.
It's muscle memory. So when you start getting into different rifles, different pistols, make sure you're using the same one and you're training with the same one, because that's where your muscle memory is going to kick in, because you may have a safety on one pistol that you don't have on another.
Yep.
And you may have some furniture on your rifle that you may not have on another. And you're going to continue to mess yourself up or decrease your performance because of that reason.
Yeah, and I mean, I've ran my Glock for my duty carry for years now, and that is the only thing that I take to the range when I'm training for duty carry, as well as, when I go to the range, sure, I'll take, 2 or 3 of my pistols, or I'll take 2 or 3 of my rifles, but when I'm training for a specific, mission, so to speak, I will only train with those certain weapon systems, right? So like for my Glock, I will only run this in my duty holster. I will not run it in my concealed or, anywhere else. This is strictly my duty carry, right? I'll run my Shadow Systems with my concealed carry because that's what I run for an everyday. I'll train with, appendix draw or, some form of concealed drawing. And that's what I'll run because that's what I feel most comfortable with. Knives, it's a hit and miss with knives. You can train so much and know some stuff, but in all honesty, training with any sort of weapon system, whether it's a rifle, pistol, knife, whatever the case may be, there's never enough knowledge in those training scenarios that you will ever know, and you'll never get to 100%. I've been in this business for going on 6 years, and I still have a lot to learn about, some weapon systems or even the job in general.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
The battlefield is ever changing and ever dynamic, just like CQB. It's always fluid. Yeah. You can practice it 1,000 times, but you may never run into the same scenario once, twice.
Exactly.
So with that being said, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in on the channel and going over our pistols and our setups that we have for duty. Join us next time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment, share it. It helps the channel out and helps us get to do this every day for you guys, as well as go over more of our experience and more of our gear for you to better prepare you and to better prepare your family. Until next time.